Hello everyone, I've got an utterly unique and individual team for you that you'll never ever seen before. Totally innovative concept, no one's copied it. Okay, maybe not quite. You'll probably run into the concept of Bastiodon with double grass. It's got quite popular for a variety of reasons. However, with the recent nerf to Razor Leaf and the fact that, there's some people who just don't like the concept of fast moving things to death, here's an alternative. Building on the same core concepts, Bastiodon is very strong against all the things that threaten a grass, and in return, a grass is quite good against the waters, the grounds, and the fighters, particularly grass poisons that threaten the Bastiodon. In that way, we have a Bastiodon lead with a bait swap. We'll use the bait swap to draw out any threats, and then we'll use the other grass in the back to sweep. Usually that will be Meganium sweeping in the back, because our core goal is to get any flies out of the way. And if you've run into it, Caleb Peng's team back, or season 1 or 2, was Skarmory lead with Meganium in the back, and a shifter is a bait swap. This functions broadly similar. It's kind of a similar concept. You draw out the flyer, you kill the flyer, then you sweep the Meganium. Meganium in particular is devastating with the Frenzy Plant and Earthquake, giving it very broad coverage, but the thing it really, really can't handle is flyers. So you need to get rid of the flyers, and then it can sweep. So with that in mind, we're just going to hop into a few matches. Right, so off we go. First match is Bastiodon into a Victory Bell. Oh hey, I wonder what they're running in the back. So with this scenario, actually it's a bit of a sticky one, because Meganium isn't very good against Victory Bell, and Venusaur's kind of ish. So I'm going to swap the Venusaur anyway, and oh look, they've got a Basti. So there's a decent chance there's a Gunfisk or similar in the back. So what we're going to do is stay in here, and we're going to Frenzy Plant the Bastiodon, and there we go. I do note that Bastiodon seems to attract Bastiodon. I seem to run it into it a lot more whenever I'm running it. Still, Flamethrower with Shield. Frenzy Plant hits quite hard, so it takes big chunks off it. It's still got a very sturdy defense though, and it's still only neutral. But as you can see, Frenzy Plant's knocking big chunks out. And we're going to get it all the way down? Yes, we are. So we've got another Frenzy Plant loaded, and in comes the Victory Bell again. We're just going to go straight into Frenzy Plant. Sludge Bomb would do it a lot of harm, but we're going to get a shield, so we don't really want to waste the energy. And we're going to get another Frenzy Plant? Yes, we are. Now, at this point, and they may not shield, or they're going to risk it. They're not going to risk it. Okay, great. So that's now down. We've got nearly to a Flamethrower here. We're going to shield this, because it might be Leaf Blade and it'll hurt. And it was an Acid Spray. Still, good call, they got the shield there. Overcharge a little bit on the Flamethrower, and just take out this threat. And there's a Machamp in the back. So Meganium versus Machamp, this is going to be tight. Frenzy Plant it is. If you've got neutral context, then Frenzy Plant does more than the Earthquake does. And goodbye Machamp. Earthquake would have been overkill here, I think. Right, next up, Obstagoon. Obstagoons are very bad for Basties, so actually we're going to go into Meganium this time. Don't ask me why. Still, Galvantula doesn't like being hit by Frenzy Plants, even though it resists them. So, there we go. Get a shield. Excellent. Same again. Maybe we'll go for an Earthquake this time. I don't know. We're going to shield the Lunge. The Lunge is largely inevitable. It debuffs us, and it hits super effective against the grass. But we have got the shield already, so I think we can get another one with another Frenzy Plant. No. As you can see, even resisted, it does a big chunk of its health. This point we're going to let it land, we're going to let it go through, because now we can take the Bastiodon to the Galvantula and take out the threat to our grass. Now of course we are hoping they haven't got a Skarm in the back, because that could be trouble. So now the Venusaur can square off against the Obstagoon and get to a Frenzy Plant. Obstagoon might have a poison move. That will hurt, but we're going to risk it. We're not going to risk it. So Night Slash incoming, probably another Night Slash now. In Great League you'll often run it into it with I think it's Gunk Shot it has rather than Sludge Wave, and they got the boost. Nuts. Okay, so we might be able to Frenzy Plant it down. There we go, goodbye Obstagoon. And in the back they've got Meganium. So this is a bit of a race to get to the Sludge Bomb, and we don't quite make it. I should have swapped out. I misjudged that entirely. I thought I had enough of an energy lead to get the Sludge Bomb before they got to the the frenzy plant. Still, unfortunately, our flamethrower is not going to finish the job, and they're going to build earthquakers to finish off. Should have switched. So it goes. Against my opponent. Next up. Bastiodon leads into Shiftry. So, interesting one. Shiftry is quite a potent move spammer. And if we time it right, we can switch to the Venusaur to catch. No. Okay, so counter switches with Hypno. That's bad news, because Hypno is, of course, super effective to the poison type. Still, we are going to now Frenzy Plant the Hypno, and that's taking a big chunk off. If we push him to throw a move, we're just going to let it land. Let him take us out. Because now we can bring Bastiodon back in. Hypno can't do a lot against that, and I doubt that they might not even get to. Okay, they do just about get to another move. We know they've got Fire Punch. Have they got anything more threatening? No. Okay, so Fire Punch it is. Didn't do enough to matter. And out comes the Shifter again. We're just going to go straight into a Flamethrower, having built up our energy lead. This will for sure get a shield, because they cannot afford to let that land, because it'll take out Shifter in one go. And same again, I guess. Going to let this one land as well. Leaf Blade is sensible, because Leaf Blade hits harder and is neutral here, as well as, and so is the Dark move. Perhaps I should have shielded that, but we're going to get away with it. Yes, we are. So we're going to get away with it. We're going to get to another Flamethrower. Yes. Okay, so that's going to get the shield as well. Yeah. And we're going to lag. Okay. I wanted to switch there, but so it goes. We've still got something back to worry about, so we're not going to shield here in case of a baiting. We are going to shield here. There we go. Another foul play would hurt. Okay, so taking that Shiftry, we're in a Frenzy Plant with not far of an Earthquake, and what have they got in the back? Galvantula. Earthquake it is. Let's see if we can get that down. Okay, so that's Galvantula a long way down. Are we going to be able to get to another Frenzy Plant before their second lunge? I think we should have this. Yes, we do. Whew. And they resist it, but of course, not much health on that Galvantula left. Frenzy Plant takes them out. Good game. Oh, straying back into veteran territory. Really good. We'll get there one day. Okay, so Kanto Ninetales. They go quickly for a switch to Deoxys, so we bring our Meganium in. We know Meganium and Deoxys have solid matchups, and I'm just concerned about Psycho Boost on the Venusaur. So, and this definitely keeps us away from a flyer, which is what we want to do. So, don't ask me why I went through an Earthquake there. That was a bad choice. You almost always want Frenzy Plant unless grass is more resistant than ground. So it goes. We'll pretend we're playing mind games with them, rather than just wasting energy and throwing a less efficient move, even if it had landed. Okay, so they're going to throw probably a Rock Slide. I'm going to shield against it, just gives us a bit of health left, because I think we can farm them down at this point. Put down a shield on them, and we're going to get hit by another Rock Slide. Just going to have to hope this doesn't take us out. Not quite. Jolly good. So I think that should be able to be enough to get us to get that Frenzy Plant, depending on what they bring in next. And it's a Grottle. Okay, that's an interesting one. I haven't seen one of those in a while. Now that's a Razor Leafer. Venusaurs, like grass types, they can double resist them. Probably a Body Slam coming in. Yep. Obviously Razor Leaf doesn't have a high charge rate, so you do have to watch out. We're going straight into the Frenzy Plant here, because whilst we would hit hard with the poison, actually we can hit hard with the Frenzy Plant too. So there we go. And now we've got the Ninetales aligned with the Bastiodon. That's good, because fire hits for neutral and we hit for super effective. And they've got Weather Ball Fire. Yes, still neutral. Great. Could probably farm this all the way down, because it's going to be a squishy shadow. We're quite low health at this point though, so got to be careful. Still going to get there. Yep. Got a move ready. Got low health on both my things, but we're going to manage this. Well, I might get to another Flamethrower. Close. No. Okay, this is going to be tight then. But Frenzy Plant it is. Yes. Good game to my opponent. I think with the nerf to Razor Leaf, the viability of Frenzy Plant increased in proportion, just because now you aren't going to be quite so flummoxed by running into, you know, Shadow Victory Bell yourself. You've got to resist to it, you can hit them quite hard in return. Okay, so switch to Umbreon, so now bring the Meganium out, because obviously this keeps us away from any flyers. And Meganium could do quite good work in the neutral context against the dark. Foul Play comes in, doesn't do a lot. Umbreon's very bulky but doesn't hit too hard. So actually we're going to try and avoid shielding any of these moves, because it's kind of a waste of shield in some ways. However, we're going to build up some Frenzy Plant damage, hopefully to throw the count off a little bit. And we've got 2 ready to go, so let's see if that's enough to take them low enough. Right, so they can't really afford to let another one land. Or maybe they can, it's close. Nope, get the shield, excellent. So now we can afford to maybe shield against them. It's tough call really. We should get to the Frenzy Plant, but we might just get another shield off them. Or not. So now we can either double down our investment and throw another shield, get a shield deficit, but have a much better chance of winning the switch. I'm not sure that was a good choice. Still, we'll roll with it. There's Frenzy Plant going through, yep. And I think we're going to get to another one, but they might not be able to farm us down. I think they must have been trying to farm us down, because I think they would have got to a foul play before us. Still, their loss. In comes the Azumarill, taking out the grass, but we've got a Venusaur. Oh dearie dear. Opponent concedes. Goodbye. I assume that means their Venusaur didn't have Ice Beam, because Play Rough doesn't do a lot against Venusaur. Right, so Dugong lead. We want to stay in for this one, because Bastiodon against Dugong is quite a good matchup. They're staying in, which is a bit suspicious, but we're going to let them throw the Icy Wind. And we're going to just carry on staying in. We can peck away at them with rock damage all day long. Another Icy Wind. Yep, stick a double debuff on us. Okay, good. At this point we've got too much energy, so we might as well use a little bit. Let's rock them. Kabonk, goodbye. Fighting type comes in, Machamp, we're going to bring out Venusaur and Altaria. So, actually that's not so bad, it's not so bad. This is kind of the core point of the play. We bring out Altaria and we Sludge Bomb it. We let the Venusaur go down with no shield spent, because it's done its job. It's brought out the flyer, so Bastiodon can now eat the flyer. That's fine. And on that subject, here comes Bastiodon to eat the flyer. Now, Machamp in the back will be challenging, but as long as they don't get too much of a farm on us, we're okay. So we're actually letting it. We're actually wasting some of our energy, and we're undercharging here, because what we don't want to do is actually take out this Altaria too quickly. We actually want to let this land too, because it should be a Sky Attack, and there you go, it takes not very much, but that means it's probably one counter. I reckon we should have got that charge move off, but no. How annoying. Does mean the Machamp didn't get much farm off on us, but they're ahead of us on energy, and we've got to get 2 Frenzy Plants off. This is going to be tight. This is going to be tight. We're going to shield the cross chop, yep. And go for the Frenzy Plant. Are we going to get to another Frenzy Plant before they can cross chop us twice, I think. I think they need to double cross chop. Maybe. It's going to be close. There's a cross chop, and there's Frenzy Plant. Go on, yes! 1 hit point in a dream, as the man said. Only got an Altaria in the back with 2 hit points left. Nuts. Oh well, there's not to be. Right, so Sableye with a funky hat. An interesting choice for a lead. I always find Sableye tends to work a little bit better as a switch, but let's go with it. We're going to stay in with Sableye for a little bit, build up some energy, peck away at it, see what they want to do. We'll start our bait swap. Switching to Meganium may have worked in our favour, but it wasn't the right choice, because obviously it's got the fly vulnerability. However, they brought the Hypno out, which is great, because then it means the Hypno is not now faced against the Venusaur. That's good for us. We're not going to shield here, and it's a Shadow Ball. Oh well, it hurts, but that probably means they're Electric Punch Shadow Ball, because if there was Fire Punch, Rice Punch, they'd have used that instead. Maybe they've got oh, who knows? A Focus Blast, maybe. Don't see many Focus Blast, Shadow Ball, Hypnos, but it's been about. But there we go, Thunder Punch, as expected. Right, so pecked away at the Hypno, got Sableye coming back in, and did I just click on Flamethrower? Why did I click on Flamethrower? Playing like a lunk today. Okay, so Power Plug comes through, we'll throw a Stone Edge. That's good. Pretend I never said anything about the Flamethrower. I didn't click on Flamethrower at all. And goodbye Sableye. So, what have we got in the back? It's an Abomasnow. That's excellent, because now the rock damage hits for super effective against that, and now we can switch quickly to our Venusaur, use both our shields, which we're going to need to because it's going to be weather balling us and that hurts, and we're going to get to a Sludge Bomb and hopefully take it out. Ooh, it might be tight actually, I'm not sure if a Sludge Bomb is enough. So, nibble away, shielding both the weather balls because they hurt, and we can probably afford to let one land, but it's going to be painful. So, incoming Sludge Bomb. Is this enough? It is. Splendid. Good game. Right, how are we doing for the playlist? Keep doing this, keep forgetting how far we've got. Okay, 3 matches to go. Yep. Lapras lead. Good place for us to be on the lead, really, with the ice damage not very effective and us hitting super effective with the rock. So we're mostly just going to stay in here. We can switch to the grass, because grass does do quite good work against a grass water ice, but I think Bastiodon's probably the better place to be. So, peck away there. Go for a switch to Venusaur to try and catch the surf. Sure enough, there it is. And now start nibbling away. Cherrim. Cherrim's a real nuisance, actually. It's another one of those. There's a few Pokemon that just really mess with teams, and Cherrim's one of them. I think it's Cherrim and Deoxys and actually Obscene sometimes, or Scrafty, or a load of Marowak. I can't believe they didn't shield that. Okay, fair enough. One hit kill with the Sludge Bomb. And there's Deoxys there. So we're going to bring the Meganium in to go up against the Deoxys, because obviously the counter damage against our Bastiodon will hurt. And we're not going to shield. Thunderbolt means that they certainly got Psycho Boost, because there's simply no point using Thunderbolt otherwise. Whereas a Psycho Boost would debuff them, and so they don't want to use it just yet. Now we're going to get stats to the Psycho Boost and shield it. First Psycho Boost is always the one that hurts the most, because then they double debuff their attack, so we can probably afford to let the next one land, but you know, maybe not if we don't have to. I don't think we're going to have to. Right. I think that was lag working in our favour, but okay, let's go with it. Now comes a Lapras, we're going to get to a Frenzy Plant. I don't think it's going to matter now. I suppose they can probably farm us down with the Ice Shard. No, they're not going to make it, are they? No, goodbye. I think their only play at that point was to try and farm us down and surf against the Bastiodon, but health was too low. So next up, Bastiodon, Jirachi. Jirachi's a bit of a nuisance, but it's not too bad for a Bastiodon to face off. So they're going to an Umbreon. At this point we bring out the Venusaur, because the Venusaur doesn't like facing Jirachi. Probably would have been better to bring the Meganium in for some ways, but you know, we know the Jirachi matchup is there waiting for us, and we don't want that against a poison type. So we overcharge our Frenzy Plants, hoping they'll sort of misjudge how much health they've got left and how many shields they can let through. They're using Dark Pulse, which is the more expensive choice. It's not generally a good call, because it's very slightly more efficient, but it's very slightly more expensive. So it kind of doesn't work too well when it gets shielded. And we're going to have another Frenzy Plant to take him out, so we're going to get to one first. This is the point where we decide to shield to try and keep the switch advantage, or at least pressure that last shield out of them. So, are we going to get the shield, or are we going to get the switch? Overcharge a little bit in case they don't shield. Okay, so we're going to be chasing the... No. Okay, so they're double shield, but we've got shields down, they've got shields down. But that's okay, our team's pretty bulky, it functions quite nicely with shields down. Basti can farm this Umbreon and get a nice bit of energy lead. And we go quickly into Meganium. This is going to be difficult, but it's a Steel Psychic, so the Earthquake will wreck it. So, can we survive Doomsday? Yes, we can. Right, so Earthquake incoming. This may be enough to take out the Jirachi in one hit. Please? Yes. Okay, so now we've got a Politoed, and I don't think... Ooh, Weather Ball. Yes, Weather Ball's going to hurt, but we resist it. It's going to do enough. Not quite. So, Frenzy Plant time. That is going to do enough. boing, goodbye. Bastiodon and Azumarill. Okay, so this is kind of the ideal. We switch into Meganium, which was a blunder because they've got a Scarm. But actually Scarm is bad for both, so actually this is not too bad. We throw the Earthquake at the Skarmory because it double resists the grass and only single resists the ground. Steel vulnerable, flying double resists, so we might as well Earthquake it because they're not going to shield. We might as well do a little bit more damage. And we let the Meganium go straight down. Bring the Bastiodon back in because now we can go Om Nom Nom and eat the Skarmory. Hopefully they've been flummoxed by the fact it's a Meganium and they're now not anticipating another grass. This is my hope, really. Because everybody knows it's Razor Leafers, right? Okay, so farming. Scarm down. Excellent. One threat to the team gone, and it's a Whiscash. They've got a double water team against a double grass team. Oh dear. So this is the downside of this type of team format. Inevitably, if you're running double water and you run into double grass, there's not a lot you can do. But in return, you know, if my double grass runs into let me think. Actually, double poison grass, frenzy plant, razor leafers, I'm in trouble. You know, there's always a team alignment problem with these sorts of teams. There are some teams that you just can't beat because they're doing the same thing as you and they happen to have won the coin flip on whether you counter them or they counter you. You know, the double fighter teams out there will pretty much always win against the double steel team. Double steel teams out there will pretty much always win against the double charm teams out there. Just the way it goes. So, goodbye Whiscash. Good game. Oh, well, that was a fun last match. That's probably why I put it in there actually. It's a bit unfair, but I wanted to make the point that the real downside of this approach to team building is that actually you make yourself more vulnerable to being hard countered. There are some team competitions that are the same format that will do that for you. So yeah, with that in mind, I hope you enjoyed that. I quite like bringing the Frenzy Planters out to play, and I think now that there's much less Shadow Victory Bells about, it actually works a lot better than it did. And anyway, so hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. If you want to see what I post when it next comes up, there is of course a comment, a subscribe button, so knock yourself out. Have a good day.